There'd be a library
Yes.
there with
Yeah.
every music and every book ever written.
Oh, I was gonna pick a Kindle, but they have a library.
Yeah.
And with that, I'd like to welcome everybody back to another episode of Chummy Thumbs. Thanks for coming back. I am Justin. As always, I am joined by Hayden and Shao, who we'd like to welcome back from Hong Kong.
Thank you, thank you.
Had two good
Woo!
poops there, apparently, out of 16
Mhm.
days. So let's just take a moment to give them a little round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of good food, though. I am happy with the food. Yeah.
As you know, we have been following along with the series Paradise. Episode 7 just came out last night, Tuesday. And man, I so this episode titled The Day is mostly a flashback episode. There was a little bit of
Mm.
present day time, and I know on the previous episode I said, no matter what, X cannot trust Sinatra. I don't care what she says. I want him to be ruthless with her. Well, let me tell you, did she ever give him a convincing argument? And so now I think X has to trust her. He doesn't have a choice. She has a recording of his wife still alive. I mean, how can you not believe that? This episode, I got to tell you guys, I cannot remember the last time I watched a TV episode like that. I mean, it had all the fixings, the energy, the excitement of a finale, and it wasn't even the finale, and the show's not perfect. Okay. We've talked previously. There's slow parts, some writing choices, maybe some of the acting, but
Jeremy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Sorry.
it's the moments in a show that make you go, wow, that ultimately define a show over the course of time, over the course of seasons. And for me, this was one of those episodes. It answered all the fucking questions we had about how they ended up there, what was the apocalyptic event, and more than ever, do I want to see where this goes? You know, and I'm not just talking about the next episode. I'm talking about like the next 18 episodes. I felt this one just it opened up the doors to so much more. Like did the nukes hit? Did they detonate? How many detonated? We know when the apocalyptic event was about to start, Russia went dark. There was an invasion of China. Like, what's going on with that? What's going on with the rest of the USA? We know people are still alive. Maybe more importantly, is Canada okay? Did we make
Mm.
it?
Mm.
I mean, I know
Mm.
we're fucked here in Vancouver,
Yeah, coastal.
but did the mountain folks? I I just want to say one thing before I throw it to you guys. One more thing, because there is still some answered questions, and the creator of the show, Fogelman, he said next week's finale should resolve any lingering mysteries. And I quote, now there's one question left, which is who killed the president? And that gets answered by the end of our season. We wanted this to be a complete meal for people who sat and watched 8 episodes of the show, where if they had a question at the end of episode 1, it gets answered by the end of the first season. And I love that. I'm sure there'll be a cliffhanger because as of last Thursday, I believe it was, they had announced that they are going to be doing a season 2. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited we're finally going to learn about who killed the president and sort of what what questions is that going to lead to. Um, that's my little pre-episode rant. I know I didn't give too much of a recap because I know we're going to get into a lot of this stuff because there was so much that happened, and I don't know how you guys felt, but for me, it was like the apocalyptic event. I didn't know what it was going to be, and you just hope it's going to be good and done right. And I felt like they nailed it. It was scary, it was believable, and even like the moments during the apocalyptic event that we'll get to with the presidential speech and all that, I just thought they fucking nailed this episode. The day.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna be a Justin. I'm gonna shit on this episode because I thought it was a total waste of time. Like,
Are you being serious?
I am being very serious,
Oh,
and I wanted to see what your reaction was because I'm not being serious at all.
yeah. I was about to say it has the highest rate on IMDb of all the episodes by a significant amount.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
a really good
literally
episode.
on the edge of my seat.
It didn't really need to be a whole episode like the other flashback ones, but it was a very good full episode, and it gave a lot of backstory, which is good. Yeah, it obviously answered a bunch of our questions that we had since the first podcast episode on this series about what was the event, because we were like, is it a natural disaster or is it a nuclear war? And it ended up being both at the same time. My suspicions have hopefully been proven correct in that, X's wife is still alive. Dun, dun, dun.
You called it.
I
Your
called it.
bold prediction.
Called it
Yeah.
way early too. Very good.
Yeah.
But
Very good.
also, I mean, they haven't lent into it at the moment, so I'm hoping it's not some stupid AI like fake thing that Sinatra made as like a failsafe in case he ever did go, against her. But I don't think it will. I don't think they'll do that because they haven't talked about anything like that previous. I'm curious, though, that from what you just said, Justin, about the showrunner, in that if you're going to answer all the questions in the first season, then why even do a second season? What's there left to answer?
He didn't say we'll answer all the questions. He said we want it to be a complete meal, blah, 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 blah. If they had a question at the end of episode 1, it gets answered by the end of the first season. So I don't think they're going to answer all the questions because, yeah, like you said, that'd be stupid. It'd be a limited series then, and they would wrap it all up. But I like even if they answered all the previous ones, that episode just opened up a whole, like, are they going to go out? Is there going to be factions? Is what, like they even talked about how in the football, right, he could do the EMP instead of the nuclear bomb, and it would set civilization back, centuries. And we know he flicked it. So, okay, people have survived, but anything electronic is completely wiped out and you're starting from the ground up.
I had that. So there were a lot of things that were answered for the audience in this episode, but definitely not answered for the characters in the episode. Unless, of course, that whole interchange between Xavier and Sinatra was him being told all those things, but that again would just be kind of weird. But I had a...
What do you mean?
Like if Sinatra was relaying the story of the day to Xavier, I mean, he obviously was there for parts of it, but he wasn't there on the plane with Sinatra when he... But so I was like...
I see what you mean. Like the EMP part he wouldn't have known about.
Yeah.
But the audience
also
knows about that.
Also, Sinatra doesn't know that he flicked it. She just knows that he was thinking of it, and then he got taken out. I also had another good... There was a whole bunch of other presidential Secret Service guys that were going to Versailles, the code name we're assuming for the bunker, for the dome, and we haven't seen them yet in the previous episodes, have we?
I mean, if we have, like, this would be the first episode that they really stood out as characters. So, you don't really, if they're background or, maybe you wouldn't notice them. But no, they haven't been featured. That's for sure.
Specifically, the guy that he tells to take Sinatra out of the plane room, and if she approaches, or if she doesn't move, he'll to shoot her. I don't think we've seen that guy before, but he seems like a relatively very important person to the president to not have been seen until that episode. So
True.
I also I'm gonna let Shao go after this one thing. If it's an EMP and it takes out all electronic devices across the globe, how are the planes still flying?
So this was what I said to Kate. I was like, oh, because you see the nukes like coming on the map and you see them, and that's probably why some hit. But because I was like, oh, you can't flick it until they land, because otherwise it would the plane would go down. And they were 20 minutes out, but he flicked it. But maybe that's just like the switch. You know how there's always like you flick it on and then you push the button,
Or that you insert a key and then two keys in the same.
But we were
time.
seeing the blue go around the globe at the same time as the nukes.
See, I
were
thought
flying
that
down.
the blue was the wave, the traveling wave.
Yeah, I didn't see it as the blue being the. Yeah, I don't know, but that's a good question. I thought about that too. I thought about why and how, if they're mid-flight and mid-air, if they turned it and they flipped it, that they'd be kind of screwed as well. But please remind me again. So I was gonna ask, besides kind of having the questions going into episode 7, what are still some of the questions? Yeah, there's the obvious one is who shot Cal, and then maybe they'll go. I don't know how deep they can go into the what I believe is the secret organization with the flower. I don't think it was the cigarette number is also answered, right? We don't know that yet.
No.
I think those are kind of my main 3. I don't know. Do you guys have any more questions off the top of the head that you guys want answered as fans for last episode?
I was gonna say, because there's questions that come up from later episodes, which, you know, even like this one, and I'm sure there'll be some in episode 8. But as far as ones to get answered would be who killed Cal, which we know we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Which might give us a little tease of if your bold prediction about the secret society is correct, because Cal's dad wasn't in that episode at all. So we'll probably get a little bit more of that in episode 8. And the numbers. Now the numbers, we kind of thought maybe it was like a tail number on a plane, but she never got on a plane that we're aware of. And so for me, I don't know if that's a huge question. I want to know who killed Cal. I want to know about that, but the numbers, it would seem odd if they didn't answer it. But if it's something they let linger, and I don't know, maybe it's gonna be one of those things that you don't. I guess you couldn't get too far into the story though, because Cal would only know so much. So it kind of has to get answered in a relatively short amount of time. If it's not in this episode, it would have to be early in the next one, maybe, for me.
I think the numbers. I was talking to my friend who also is following this series very closely, and he does have something. He thinks it has something to do with Cal's message to Jeremy somehow. And I think he said there was a shot of the cigarette being burned, and then the next shot was him burning a CD or something like that for Jeremy. And so we know that he hid the CD in the library, right? Isn't there a shot of him putting the CD in the library, or did he just burn it in the library? Anyways, my friend kind of suggested that it could be something to do. The numbers has something to do with the. Is it called the Dewey Decimal System, where it's like a system where libraries, how they organize books and where you can find books, and usually it is a 6-digit number, 5 or 6-digit number. At first, I thought maybe it's something in the CD, like it's 8. I think it's 812092 or something like that. And I was like, oh, maybe it's an 8th track, but that doesn't make sense. Like 12th minute, there's no song. I don't think there's a song that he would have this 12th minute or whatever, right? So
Well, the old hidden tracks at the end of, you remember CDs?
oh yeah, the bonus
Hayden
tracks,
would know the
bonus tracks.
Newfound Glory. I think it was Newfound Glory. There is also some use, but there'd be like 13 minutes after the song ended.
Yeah, so but I was just thinking if it is something to do with where to find the CD, because I do think there's important information in the CD that Cal put. It's just a weird way to send them on that hunt to put it on a cigarette that his son probably won't get his hands on, right? Like,
Also, didn't his son listen to the CD already? Like, I feel like
yeah,
there's something more to it too, but we know he's already listened to it.
okay, yeah, that's yeah, you're right. I was I kind of wasn't sure if that was the actual CD or if he's made other CDs for him before, but I think maybe it's just the new one. But
It could be.
yeah, I don't know. But they did make a big deal about those numbers before, right? Like this close-ups of the burn and him writing it, you know. So that to me is also one of the lingering questions. But aside from that, man, I really do want to give props to Mr. James because I think he killed it this episode. There's
Oh,
so
fuck,
much,
buddy.
so
So
complex.
good.
There's so many high tension, like high stake scenes. Um, yeah, even the one we were just talking about with him and Sinatra on the plane. Do you remember that scene in the I guess more present day where Sinatra's like, I want to see what it looks like when you have balls or something like that.
Yeah.
The scene when they were talking outside and Xavier heard them. I think he had balls there,
Dude.
you know,
That's what
like
I
you
thought.
know what I
I
mean?
was like, he was all over Sinatra before they were in the dome, and then all of a sudden in the dome they kind of had flipped the narrative on
They
who he
must have
was.
Yeah.
had that one episode obviously written before this one. Maybe they just had this outline of this one, so they didn't have him being
Being a
that way. But yeah,
pushover.
he's like, is the first time you sort of see him in fucking control.
Yeah, actual presidential mode,
Yeah.
like
Dude,
without being
even
controlled.
like being outside the airport between President Cal and Agent Collins, I was like,
Oh
damn,
yeah,
man, like this is like, whoa, whoa. So, I didn't even talk about that at the beginning, but talk about an episode having it all, like the performances, and it's probably because they had a lot less, as in zero, of Jeremy in there. Kidding, Jeremy, whatever your actor name is, we love you. We're sorry, but damn, that was
sorry,
it. Was
sorry. Yeah,
They
it
sorry.
just they
was
just had to mention him a couple of times by name for Xavier's kids to stay close to Jeremy. Stay close to
yeah, yeah,
Jeremy.
dude, and like, and to Cal, President Cal is a flawed human. There's no doubt about it. But I always like I always believed, I always liked him, that he's his heart, his soul, his mind is in the right place. I always felt that. And actually, and I'll ask you guys if this is even something you would do, because in the episode he gives a presidential speech and it's bullshit. It's basically telling everybody, oh, it's going to be okay, stay calm, which isn't the case. And they all know this. And this is all part of the exit strategy to get to the bunker. And then he goes, put me on live. He's like, he has a moment and he realizes, I got to tell people what's up. And he's encouraged not to because it'll cause panic, and it will. And he said, like, look, if this is it, and this is going to be the end for a lot, most of, maybe everyone, and these are going to be their last moments, then they should spend it with loved ones. They should spend it with doing what they want to do. And I thought, fuck, man, like that's going to cause a lot of chaos, of course. But does the good outweigh the chaos it caused?
Yeah.
And I just love that he made that decision. And I love the speech he gave. And I don't know. Would you guys make that call? Would you guys say just what people want to hear to keep them calm, or would you risk chaos, but to
It's
let
such an
people know the
interesting
truth?
it's such an interesting dynamic because I think Sinatra was saying how they they could live kind of happier, and then it'll be gone in a flash, so they won't even
Yeah.
They won't have the time to grieve and have all that chaos. But then Cal's perspective was that, they deserve a chance to say goodbye and spend it with their loved ones or whatever. And it's very interesting to me because I think months ago I might have told Hayden about this, that I had, or maybe both of you, about the idea that I had of a kind of like a script idea of two scientists who who study like trajectory of meteors or whatever. They discover that Earth is going to get hit and that there's 2 weeks left, and their decision was to be more selfish and not tell anyone, because they know it's going to cause chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And so those last 2 weeks, the story kind of goes like they do whatever they want, and they just live their life for whatever, like the live life literally as it's going to end, and no one else knows. But so when I was kind of coming up with this concept, I thought about that. I was like, is that even though it's a fictitious sort of path that I chose, seeing this episode made me realize, yeah, it's a really hard decision to make, like really hard decision to make. And to answer your question, I always thought that I would 100% be like, yeah, I think everyone deserves to know and just be truthful and all that stuff. But seeing immediately what happens when people know and the chaos that ensues, it's like, it's not as easy of a decision for me anymore. I still don't really know. You know what I mean? I can't say like definitively I will tell people or I won't tell people.
I think with this one specifically, I love your film idea, by the way. That's
yes.
That's a very neat story with just two people knowing and sort of the arc and the journey that they could go on of, we're not going to tell anybody we're going to live our life. And then as the days get closer, are you second thinking it, or do you want to be with loved ones? Anyways, with this one, it's on the news. They're broadcasting. And by the way, that news anchor who the
woman one on the roof.
Okay, so first of all, I'll get this point across, is that people already know stuff's happening, right? So it's not like they're just completely living their life. I think as more goes down, like chaos would ensue anyways. But that news anchor, so they go to the woman and they expect like a smaller wave, and she's up and she's like, the news anchor man is like, are you guys okay there? He's in the studio and she's, oh, we're on the 20th floor, like we're fine. And what a beautiful touch of that fucking shockwave that's coming before the wave, like the actual tidal wave, blowing glass out, hurting eardrums. I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Like, and then she's like, oh yeah, we're fine. Oh, it's just a shockwave. Oh, and then you hear the wave coming and taking out buildings, and you see it, and this thing is like 1,000 feet tall. It's insane. I think they said the ocean receded 3 miles from shore, and that's how much water's coming. But then, so we can see the feed, so he can obviously see the feed, and they just get destroyed. They get wiped out by this 1,000-foot wave, and he says something like, so calmly, are you there? Did we lose her? I was like, what the fuck, man? Like,
she's like bleeding from the ears or whatever, or bleeding, and she's like, she okay? Like, come on.
Yeah, are you okay? Did we lose her? Just the way he said that at the end. Did we lose her? Like
it was just something wrong with the feed, not that they just got obliterated by it, the ocean.
Absolutely obliterated.
Imagine he's like, let's check back with her in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll try and get her back up.
Camera floating in the water.
And I love to like even talk about like just like little touches of, they have the newscast going off, and they have the main scientist guy there who's been warning everybody and telling everybody how dangerous this is, and they have all the other pundits and politicians. And then, just at the end of it, there's just two of them. There's just the one scientist and the other guy, and they're just still hanging in there. I don't know, like that, those little sort of moments like that, I just thought, I liked it.
So I had a little bit of a theory on why Cal did the second message to the people. and it's a huge leap, and it's speculation leap, 100%.
Love it.
But
Here we
it's
go.
because there's been throughout the series and in his flashbacks, he is very much in love with the 90s. His son is named after a Pearl Jam song. He loves the type of music. He's very much set in the 80s and 90s. So my brain was like, oh, I wonder if he's having like an Armageddon moment here. Because in Armageddon, there was the scene with Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck where they know that the asteroid is coming towards Earth to destroy them all. And they're having the whole animal cracker scene where they're spending time with loved ones. So my brain's like, oh, I wonder if Cal thought about that movie. And he's like, no, people deserve to have that animal cracker moment with their family and their loved ones. So I'm going to let them
Animal
know.
cracker moment. I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm going to go let them know what the actual truth is and how much time they have. And you notice like straight away because he talks to old mate that's the cleaner and he's like, oh, this is just like every other thing that you said was the end of the world, and it's tomorrow we'll go see my granddaughter and it'll be fine. And then he's not there. After the second speech, he's gone. So you know that it's hitting home. But yeah, my brain was like, I wonder if in Cal's world he's thinking
100%.
of a
Yeah.
film.
Definitely. It's probably the Aerosmith song is probably in
Yeah.
his CD mix.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want to miss a thing.
Can you? Which song was that again, Shao?
Oh shit. What's it? So give me the name. I know how to sing it. So give me the name. I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to miss a thing. And
Yes.
even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. Cause I miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing.
Not a thing.
Do we have to cut that because I sang it so accurately?
Yeah, we might get copyrighted on that, Shao. I think.
I don't know. It wasn't
Well, just
quite
cut it- just
high
cut it
enough,
after.
so I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just cut it after.
So Hayden, you never answered the question.
It's because I didn't get a chance to.
I mean, okay. Would you? Let me ask you
Whoa.
this. Let me
Whoa.
phrase it. Let me phrase the question in a way you'd understand.
Ah.
Ooga,
Oh.
ooga, booga, ooga, chooga, da.
Hey, as we know, you gotta be very
Hayden.
sensitive. Just walk around this sensitively because Australia gets absolutely destroyed first in this.
Oh yeah.
Actually, New
Yeah,
Zealand first,
Well-
then Australia. Canberra, on the other hand, where I'm from, folks, is fine because it's far enough above
Hayden, you always
the sea
What-
level.
Always got to make this
Like-
about
And it's
you.
inland. It's not
so
coastal.
inappropriate.
He's just got to make it about.
They were like, all coastal
Fucking
cities
Canberra.
gone. I'm like, Canberra's not
Yeah.
coastal.
You know who survived? Is those poisonous snakes that live right in the middle of the
Yeah.
desert of Australia.
Mm-hmm,
Those fuckers survived.
mm-hmm.
No, I want to phrase this in a way you'll understand, Hayden. Would you have an animal cracker moment?
Would I? Yeah, of course I would. I'm sentimental at heart.
You are. You.
I
would,
could never be in politics because I can't lie to people like that. Like, or bend
God,
the truth.
we
I
need
should say.
politicians like you.
But then I don't think that's a politician. Like,
It's
I
a
would.
requirement to lie.
It's a requirement
bend the
to
truth.
Okay.
bend the truth. To bend the truth, or to
Let's
say
play-
if you believe it enough, it's not a lie. I think that's how they all get past it.
Let's
But,
play a game.
Let's.
Okay.
Is this like a Saw moment?
We're playing. Hayden has an animal cracker moment, and you've just had it, and now you're coming on to let the people know what's really happening. And go.
I'll be like, okay, shoot straight, folks. This is how I would talk.
Can you imagine all this shit is happening? and
Negative
going
one.
down, the president comes out and he's like, "I'm gonna shoot you straight, folks."
No, I'm gonna be.
What happened to your accent, Mr.
I'm
President?
gonna be like Shao and Wim's dad at and for life. I mean, you will see, folks of Australia. It's me, your prime minister. Yeah, all the shit that you're hearing from this Northern Hemisphere and the UN and all of that is true. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Get in a car and drive inland because you don't have much time. Grab your family, grab your loved ones, get to high ground, spend it with the ones you want, because this very well could be your last few hours. So, see,
Oh my god!
cut it there because, like, not literally cut it, Hayden, but cut it there. I know for a fact that the majority of Australian people would fucking just riot and destroy before. They wouldn't. A lot of them would get to their family members and whatnot, but I feel like it would be just like chaos straight away. I just feel it. Like it can be pretty easy to set off the general public.
I also think there's going to be a handful of you guys who will grab surfboards and try to catch a wave or something.
Yeah, those
There'll be
big
one
waves.
guy
Ever?
that tries to ride it. Yeah.
Yo, let's go ride the destructive end of days tidal wave. Yeah.
Okay, well, to conclude the game, Justin, how many points did he get for that one?
Well, I
0
would say
to 100 rides.
he definitely. You know what? I'll tell you this, Shao. He spoke from his heart. So I give him all the points. Unless you feel like you can steal them with a better announcement to the people.
大家好，而家係no, I was kidding.
Realistically, I would have taken a moment to write it out myself because I find that I can. You put me on the spot verbally, I suck. You give me 5 minutes to actually write something down, then I would be a lot better.
Well, I've seen your writing. It's top notch. Shao, I found myself like leaning in closer, thinking I would understand what you were saying. Turns out it didn't matter how close I got. So I got some Doma knowledge that we're going to get to at the end. Shao, there was something that you were going to do when you were sort of leading one of the episodes that we never got around to for the last couple. I want to get to that. But before, is there anything else any of you guys want to say about episode 7?
They kind of showed not all of the main characters, but they showed Cal, they showed Xavier, they showed Sinatra, they showed the kids. We heard Xavier's wife.
Terry.
Yes, say her name.
Terry.
Say her name.
Yeah.
She's more than just a
Terry.
wife. Hayden.
She's a scientist. I couldn't remember her name. I can't remember
And mother.
all of their names. I'm just saying.
And a mother.
And a mother. Okay.
And a daughter.
Anything else?
No.
She could be a sister.
No, I think that covered it.
She could be an aunt.
Oh, she could be a sister.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
But so people that we didn't see Cal's dad. So I'm guessing because he was involved in developing it, he was probably there much, much, much earlier than everybody else. He was probably hunkered down there before they even knew when it was coming. We didn't see Dr. G. Where's she at?
Well, she's
all-
with Sinatra. She must have just been outside of the room. Because she was at the house with Sinatra where Xavier is, right?
I don't know.
Because when he showed up there.
But in
But yeah, we didn't see her.
in terms of the day, on the day, where is
Oh.
she? She's not in the White House.
I see what you're
Like-
saying. Yeah. So I have a thing about that. And this is what I was wondering, just to jump in because it's related to that. We saw how hectic the day was. It's fucking hectic. We also know the bunker holds 25,000 people. So where are these? And even if it's not a full 25,000, but let's say it is. Where are these 25,000 people on the day? Like they're not already living in the bunker. They didn't get very much heads up. So is there some city or town that's just outside of the bunker that all these people are living in, where maybe Dr. G is, or is it like all these people just had to catch a flight there? Like that doesn't seem believable. So that was one thing that I wonder if they're going to answer this question or just leave it as one of those things in movies where they just can't explain, so they don't address it. Like when somebody shows
all
up with the
flights.
bus, then they go,
Yeah.
"How did you get that?" And they're like, "Don't ask." And it's like, well, no, seriously, how'd you get the
Okay.
fucking double-decker bus? Like,
It's all of a sudden
Don't
all
worry about
flights in the continental US only take 2 hours to get to the one location. It's like, regardless of where you are, it's going to take the same travel time.
And 25,000 people, like, that's a big runway. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, I just wanted to also bring up, there was a question that I don't know if I brought it up at all, but it's been in the back of my mind this entire series, is that the US has one of the largest, if not largest, that we know of, militaries in the world. So they obviously, all of the Oval Office dudes, that their plane went, like, dropped out of the sky. They were still alive, but they couldn't take off. So you've got all of these army general dudes. Where is the military? Are they all on the ground still? And if Bradford managed to blue button it and knock everything out, is there this huge amount, like, they could easily be organized and, recolonized by the military. But I thought, there's so many, like, high brass people, and you've got all of this technology. They've obviously got to survive. They would have their own shit going on. Where are they?
Yeah, did they survive? I think there will be colonies in future seasons because guns will still work. They'll have some form of, like, simple communication. There will be
clearly
some things that
radios
people
works.
still know, but
Like, radio waves will always work. That's what they've always, because it's a different frequency to cellular.
yeah.
But also, there's going to be satellites orbiting the Earth, so they'll still work. They just have to rebuild the technology on the ground, which
Well, if they get EMP'd, then they would go offline, and I wonder if you'd be able to keep them in, or if they'd eventually lose orbit.
yeah.
Well, that, according to, my knowledge through Call of Duty, they only last for like 30 seconds. So it
Yeah.
should be fine. Don't know
Well,
what the deal is.
Call of Duty doesn't lie, so
No, it's
Yeah, it's very realistic.
training modern day warfare peoples. I did have
and there's going to be like they talked about, which actually I can't remember if I mentioned, with the Russia and China thing, is because if there's this apocalyptic event, resources are going to be what's huge. So it's going to be who can gather resources, because weapons will still work, some machinery will still work.
So that was another thing. I might have totally missed it because I watched it rather late, and sometimes I miss, like, key information. It just over my head sometimes. But I was like, so these nations will know that there's this giant, never-ending, back and forth tidal wave that just goes until its energy dissipates. So it's just going to continue wiping out. So they knew that. But then I didn't understand why that would cause them to nuke their enemies. I was like, why? What's the point?
Because it's a battle for resources.
So
That's what
they were
talking
saying that
about
they would.
was-
So they were saying that they were going to do it once the water disappeared. So whoever was left standing would ultimately be like, beep.
No,
But if it was
they
about-
launched the nukes. They launched the nukes before.
Which is why I didn't get it. I'm like, what's the point? If the world is getting cleaned out, and if it's for resources, why would you want to destroy resources if you survive?
You would be destroying your enemy's targets. You wouldn't be destroying resources. You'd be dropping bombs, killing people. I mean, the wave is big, but I don't think they suspect it to completely. They didn't expect it to completely go over all the land. Maybe.
It just didn't make full sense to me, and I'm sure they explained it, but I was like, I don't quite understand why nuclear war, with all of your tests that you did, your 1,000 tests that Sinatra did, would lead to nuclear war. I just was like, am I missing something here? Regardless, it is what it was, and it happened when it was. So I'll just accept it. But I was just a little bit like, huh? My other thing that I may have, again, misread or misremembered, but I thought that when Cal got access to the data pad through his dad's hand, that they were talking about the Antarctic expedition, and that's where they found the survivor. Yet Sinatra in this episode was like, we found survivors like yesterday. She was talking about it like it was something that was brand new. But I thought that the first, like the finding of someone in Antarctica or whatever the mission was called, like the Lost at Sea code heading over it, whatever, was way earlier. Like was like year 1, but clearly not. And also, I was like, why would? See, I might have misread. I was like, why the heck are they going all the way down to the southern hemisphere to look for survivors?
I don't remember them looking for survivors in the Antarctic because
It was
I
just
think
something.
Billy was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
it was
that. I mean,
something
obviously,
read.
the Antarctic is where the
The
volcano was.
erupted.
So I'm sure pre Versailles there was expeditions there to check on it and check its activity and all that. So maybe that's
See, I might have
That's what you
read
saw.
another file heading in the
Yeah.
data, and he actually opened a different one. But my brain was like Antarctica. Oh wait, so I might have just
that's going to
missed
be a
it.
trivia question. Write it down. Write it
Write
down.
it down.
Well, oh, sorry, Hayden, you want to?
No. I
Final
was
thoughts on
done.
anything? So last week I kind of had a proposed question that I guess it's good that we kind of put it. It kind of still ties into the whole chaos of the day. And my question for you guys, and it's actually in hindsight not a very easy question for me either, is that we got a glimpse of, I think early on the series when they were getting flown in, everyone had just kind of like a small duffel bag, kind of like a carry-on size of personal items with them, I guess essentially to start a new life, to bring into paradise or Versailles, if you will. I mean, I guess that's the mission name. But just if it were to happen right now and someone was like, we're part of the 25,000, we have 15 minutes to get your stuff and go to this area, what would you bring with you that can fit? It's something that can fit into like a little bag, you know. Yeah, what would you bring? You're starting a
So
new completely. I'm assuming all like the sockets, all the electronic, C type, whatever iPhone sockets are gonna be the same. I don't think they're gonna have their own paradise freaking
Paradise plugs.
plugs. Paradise plugs. That sounds pretty good though. I don't
Ooh,
think they will
that's a
have
good
paradise
name for
plugs.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought about. I'll guess I'll kind of go first. It's probably the most maybe a cheap answer. I thought about this a lot, and I was looking around my room, the sentimental stuff. And nowadays, I think it's just I have so much stored on my laptop in terms of work, artwork, scripts, pictures. I think that's really important. I mean, for me anyway. And so if I had to do one, I think it would probably be that. I mean, the second one being a charger for it, but I would want that kind of stuff with me because I really can't think of anything that's super sentimental, that's an object that's of that size that I can bring with me that will give me joy to start a new life.
How much of that is on cloud storage?
Oh God, we're gonna.
Because if you,
You know, Hayden's going to ask a stupid question, Chao.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
it's stupid,
what
but
he
it's
does.
would you have
No.
access to the cloud in?
No,
the
it's a good
dome?
question. That's why they're stupid.
That is a good question.
Because they're
You know
legit.
what? Okay, because originally, I don't know if you guys remember, I did ask you one or two items.
You
And-
said 2 items, yeah.
Two
so
items, okay.
my answers
Okay.
are going to be different than
That's
what
great,
fits in
that's
the
fine.
Laptop
bag.
and a hard drive. There you go.
Okay, that's my answer. Oh shit, charger. Okay. I'm gonna hope that someone else brings a charger because hard drive is so personal. Laptop and hard drive. That's me.
Well, you'd hope that if they were building something that had a little bit of everything of society, that there would be chargers. You could go to the library and you could be like, I need to borrow a charger.
Okay.
And then steal it and never return it.
Whoa.
Sorry,
Whoa.
not steal it.
Whoa.
Borrow it without
fuck?
returning it. I've got an overdue borrowed Apple charger.
Okay, Hayden. In that sense,
And if the
being-
Maple
no,
Ridge,
there's no cloud. There's no cloud anymore because it got wiped out.
Yeah, all the satellites that are just orbiting, going, "Hello,
Yeah,
we're still
exactly.
here." Signals? No, okay.
Does that change your answer, Hayden?
What is
No.
Hayden's answer?
Well, I was originally going to say, like, get myself, like, a Kindle or something and load it full of books. But if there was already, like, a library there, then you wouldn't need to worry about that, right? So it would obviously be memories. So it would be photos or videos, but it would be probably most likely a hard drive as well. Because then
Nerd.
Don't forget your Kindle.
I don't have
Oh my
one. I don't
God.
see. I don't have one. I am an old school.
He's gonna
I
quickly
get.
run to the store. He's gonna quickly run to the store and get a
I have
Kindle.
15 minutes.
I already
15
got
minutes.
my
Okay.
camel waiting in the back. I'll just jump on my camel and I would dodge between traffic
okay.
and get to
So a
the.
camel, and a
Candle
Kindle.
and a Kindle. Okay.
That would fit on the plane just perfect, right? They'd be like, "Get my camel on there." It's one. It's
I will
my
let
so-
you have the. I will let you have the camel.
my emotional support camel. It's got to come on the plane. It's got a certificate and everything.
Before you go, Justin, because there's such a bookworm. If you don't have a Kindle, do you have one book that you would want to bring with you? Don't say the Bible. Don't say the Bible.
Please say
never-
the Bible.
I got a Bible when I was in like grade 5, and I thought it was the coolest
You
thing ever.
steal that too, Hayden?
No, they came to the school. I think they were trying to recruit young Christians. They just came to the school and gave them out. I'm like, this is a public school. You can't just peddle your religion in Australian.
Tell us how
public
you
schools.
felt about that.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I had like this little red storybook. I was like, this is like the coolest thing ever. It's like got all these little That's why I loved going to church for the hymns because I loved people singing, and for the sermon because they would read a story. But because I was so young when I used to go to church, they kick you out for the main sermon and they send you to Sunday school to do arts and crafts or whatever. I was like, no, I want to stay. I want to listen to the stories. Not that I had any like divine following. I just was like, I liked the singing and the storytelling. So no, a Bible isn't my favorite book. If anything, it would be the book that my brother wrote because I haven't read it yet.
Luke.
But because it was something that he had written, I would take his book.
That's nice. Justin?
Nice. So I have two things. I also asked everybody else in my family the same question.
Oh, lovely. I'd love to hear that.
So for me, and I kind of posed it to them different because they obviously don't know the entire backstory of the show, and I wasn't going to get into it, but just said you had to go. The world was about to end. You had to go live in a bunker. But for me, my acoustic guitar, because I figure being able to have music and make music and sing and get others singing, and there's a real sense of community with that, and I thought that would be a good way to pass time and
Lift morale, which is
lift
important.
morale, or even sing sad songs, man. We're feeling the blues, just feels, get the feels out through music.
Yeah.
And I thought to help with that, my other item would be a kilogram of marijuana, because I thought they're definitely not going to have that there, and I feel I would not share it. I wouldn't let anybody know, but I would need some to last and just chill and vibe and
Cultivate your own.
so those are my two items. So I thought too, like hard drive photos and all that, and I get that, and I get why people say that. I got to tell you, all I ever do is put stuff on the hard drives. Not once do I ever pull out a hard drive and go, I'm gonna remember what 2008 was like and flip through photos. Now maybe that changes when you get older, maybe that changes when you get into a bunker to see what life used to be like, but then do I want to know what life used to be like? I don't know. So I just settled on the music and the vibes. So Kate's answer was Poppy, our dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She wanted to make opium.
Yes, well, Kate.
Okay.
So we got the
So,
drug
yeah,
runners
heroin
right
addict.
here. Marijuana
So let
and
me
heroin.
guess. So Poppy, and the other one is like a book on how to do taxes. 'Cause remember her love for taxes.
That's right.
Not any of your kids. You're just gonna take.
Well, they get their own.
No, we're not doing kids. But if I had to pick two, since you guys are forcing me, I would pick.
Hey, there's two parents. You each get to pick two kids. So ultimately, hopefully,
she
all
picked
three
a
of them would
dog and a
come.
kid.
Except
no,
if she had a
second pick-
favorite and you had the favorite, and then one of your kids misses out.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, sucks to be them. But Dad, you have another pick. Oh, I can't
Oh.
hear you.
But the guitar.
Yeah, the guitar. It's for the people. No, her her second item was earplugs, because she really likes her sleeps.
Cut out the
Wait,
noise.
actually,
just
is that actually?
Yeah, dude, legit. She's like, and not the cheap ones, like custom, like really good ones that will last. I was like, you are a fucking nerd. Like, earplugs, really? But she loves her sleeps, so I get it.
Good. James.
James was funny because he was like Lego, and then he wanted to say tablet and he wanted to say PlayStation, but he's talking himself through it. And he's like, no, they probably won't have internet, so I won't be able to go online. And then he said, oh, I know, weights. Oh, interesting. So you could do a little working out while he was there. I was like, okay.
That'd be hard to
Jocelyn.
lug around though in that bag.
yeah. Who you kidding? He's gonna get Dad to carry it for him. Jocelyn picked her.
Remind the viewers the age, if you don't mind.
Yes, James
delving.
is 11, and
Kate is 64.
Kate is, just flip the numbers around. But just kidding. Just kidding, babe. If you're
I was
listening,
like 11.
I know you're
Flip
not.
them around 11. I
Oh.
totally was like, wait,
Hayden,
you flip
I'm
Shao's
gonna
numbers around.
wisecrack you with this.
Hayden,
Like, all the
back-
reading the Kindles.
I was gonna say, back to the Kindle, bud.
I don't have a
Jocelyn,
Kindle.
who's-
I like my physical books. But to have enough of them, I would have to get a Kindle.
Jocelyn, who's 8, picked her stuffy and one of her gold medals. Her gold medal
gymnastics.
for gymnastics. Yep.
Nice. That's cool.
And Elsie, who's 5, so I'm gonna quote her answer. Red Panda, which is a stuffy, and Barbies, to which I said, oh, your Barbie backpack, because she's got a backpack that she keeps all her Barbies in and their clothes and stuff. So I said, oh, your Barbie backpack. It's Barbie suitcase and whatever else I want, because you can't stop me. And that was what I was like, and that's why I'm not picking any of my fucking children to come.
They can sit at the back of the plane.
That's
and
smart.
also
That's
why
that's
I love
smart
5-year-olds.
because we don't. Yeah, that's a great answer because we don't know what's in her bag. So it's several items. That's as long as it's in the bag. She trumped us all.
Well, actually, I could just take her Barbies out, put my kilo of good vibes in there, and then I could bring a third item.
Oh. She'd be like, what happened to my Barbies?
Yeah.
No, don't eat that. Anyways, that was fun, Shao. Thanks for
good answers. Good answers.
for.
I only got to pick one
ask-
item.
Well, you couldn't pick a book, and we were fucking running out of time, Hayden.
But you got to do all your kids and your wife.
Well, did you ask anyone else?
Yeah. Did you ask anyone else?
No, but you didn't let me pick my 2 items. I was like, Kindle, fuck this guy. Move on.
No, I
No,
thought
that's
you
your
picked
item.
your
You can
brother.
pick whatever.
There's
Yeah.
your
My
brother's
brother-
book.
That was, 1 item. My brother's.
Oh, I thought you had
okay.
something before that. Were you still just lingering on the Kindle for that long? Okay, Jesus.
So
Christ.
you guys
you
are
were
like,
gonna
I don't have a
You better
second
not-
item now.
Listen. See, I was gonna say you better not know your second item now after all that.
Because I was listening to you guys. I wasn't just being rude and ignoring you and to think of a second item.
Well, we all know
to
he's gonna bring one special tea bag that he
Yeah.
saved in his drawer. That
Yeah,
gives
that
him
have
most-
that they
most
don't have anything written on them, so I can put my own quotes on them daily
That's nice.
from all the
That will be
books that I would
thrilling for
read.
people.
So sorry, just to bring it back, does your teabag right now not have anything?
No, this is not
Is that one?
this is not a quote teabag.
Oh, you switched it up for our new format. I don't know if I like that.
So what's your second item, Hayden?
I don't
Yeah,
have
give it
one.
to
I
us.
was just giving you shit because you just moved on. It's like Hayden's unimportant.
You didn't.
Let's move
You
on.
had 3.5 weeks to think about this.
I thought you were
Oh.
leaning towards like I thought when you mentioned the hard drive thing, I thought you were leaning towards
Well, yeah, it would probably be a
Yeah,
hard drive. It would be a hard drive and a
that's-
book. There we go.
hard drive in a book.
and the book is carved out for a flask as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
yeah.
the hard drive's full of pornography and no family.
Well, duh.
And a cutout with a little gun inside.
Yeah.
That would be in the Bible.
That'd be in the Bible. Yeah. So I think we should just get to the Dome of Knowledge here, play a little trivia game. Also, we're going to post on X and Blue Sky the question about what 2 items. So if you have two personal items that you would bring with you, let us know what they are. We'll read them out on here if we get some good ones.
If we get any more Kindles, I swear.
Yeah, if you say Kindle, instant block.
Unless you might mean Kindle for like making fires, like bundles.
There's no
That could
electricity.
help.
I need a Kindle.
That could help with Justin's campfire, vibes.
Yeah,
that could help.
You boys are welcome in on the kilo of vibes. So
I'm okay with the second hand. I don't need to. If we have a small room, I can just go in there for a little bit. I don't need to, use for stash. But I would like to have some second hand.
no, bruh, you're family. You guys are family. You're in on it. Let's get to the Dome of Knowledge. Play along. I think I have 7 trivia questions. And then we'll say our farewells and see you on the next one where we get into the finale. Do you boys have your buzzers ready? How many end of world simulations did they run?
Ding, 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 ding.
Aiden.
1,000?
That is correct.
Shit. Didn't even know.
Follow-up question. How many of those 1,000 simulations ended in nuclear war?
Ding, 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 ding.
Hayden.
All of them?
That is correct.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hitting with a hot start.
hot start. Shao, his
Shit.
streak might end.
Here we go.
Besides launching all nukes, what's the second thing the football can do?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, fuck.
Hayden.
It can set off an EMP that across the entire globe to take out all electronic devices.
That is correct. 3 for 3. Shao, you gotta go. You gotta
I gotta ace it. Now.
reverse sweep here. Reverse sweep. Okay. What is the code name for end of the world?
Ding, 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 ding.
Shao. Like,
Versailles.
that is correct.
I got one. I'm happy. Okay.
See, I thought that was code for what the dome was.
No. Move on.
I
No,
would.
I was just saying, I thought that's what that was, but it makes sense for it to be like, we're talking about the end of the world, we'll call it Versailles. That also makes perfect sense.
I took it as Versailles, but Versailles meant get to the bunker because it's happening.
The end of days, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a tricky one. That's the hardest one. I might save it for the end. Okay. How many years will civilization be set
Ding, ding, ding,
back?
ding.
Shao.
500.
That is correct. Ooh, that was a preemie. That was a
preemie. I had to risk the preemie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, these are both 2 really good questions. One's hard, one's
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Let's see which one. I'm going to go with this one. This isn't from the episode. This is from this podcast episode.
Kindle.
Who
I
said?
didn't ding. I didn't ding. I didn't ding.
You didn't ding. You didn't
I
ding.
didn't ding.
Yeah. Hayden made a comment. Everyone deserved a what moment?
Ding 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 ding.
Hayden.
An animal cracker moment.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
the last one. Hayden,
That's
4.
worth 5 points.
Congratulations on your victory.
Yay!
Congrats.
Shao.
Congrats.
Mercy question.
Hmm.
Where does the general tell X to get his wife to get on a flight to the bunker?
Oh.
Hayden, if you know it, you can ding too.
I don't remember. It was some
Hayden, if you're gonna
specific...
Google the answer, you should hide your phone out of screen.
No, I'm looking at my show notes. It was some like Albuquerque Air Base or something, but I know it wasn't that.
Yeah, I just
okay.
remember. I just remember her
Okay.
him telling her to steal a car. And
Yeah,
get
that was
there in
awesome.
45 minutes.
Like
instead of,
Aberdeen or
It's
something.
it's air blank base. And it starts with an R. Sometimes if you're in the army, you're in one of these, or you're one of these.
Air Regiment Base.
Ooh, cool. It's kind of like, hey, I want to take you out for dinner. I'm gonna call the restaurant ahead so I can blank
Ding ding
Air
ding
ding ding ding.
Chow.
There's no way ding ding, but that's all right. I already won. Go Shao.
Reservation.
No.
Damn it.
Air reservation. Close.
Air
I'll give
reserve,
it to you.
Air reserve base.
Air reserve base. That is correct. You guys got there. I love it. Did any of you
With
at
a lot
home
of
get
help.
it? That was a tough one. I had to look that one up because I needed one more question. I needed a 7th. I needed a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's fun. I enjoyed talking about that one, Shao. I really
a good one.
enjoyed getting to that the personal item question. Still am in awe at some answers people gave. I hope you all enjoyed the
awe was
episode
key
today.
word,
I hope
in
you
awe.
enjoyed this podcast episode. We appreciate you coming back every week. Come back next week. We're gonna get into the finale. I hope to God it's closer to episode 7 than episode 5, but episode 7 is so good, and sometimes it is kind of like the second to last episode that sort of got the biggest stuff, and the last one is a wrap up. But we know there's questions that's going to be answered that we've been waiting for since the very beginning of this show. So I know they're going to pull it off. It's going to be good. We'll get into that. Please.
Before Justin's final sign off, I do want to say today is we are recording this February 26th, and February 26th will forever be Pete Weber Day, because this day is the day that he gave the infamous quote, "Who do you think you are? I am," after his super clutch finish of a bowling game tournament. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Pete. Anyway, sorry, Justin.
No, I love that you did that, because at work today somebody brought it up. Not that it was his day, just randomly brought up Pete Weber, and they're like, do you ever see that video? Do you know who do you think you are? I am. And I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, I don't even know why he said, I don't even get it. And I was like, well, let me tell you, here's what really happened. See, this guy had been chirping him up. Anyway, so I got to tell the story. So
Yes.
I love that you brought that up. I didn't know he had his own day. That's epic. I love that shirt. We'll post it on social. But yeah, if you guys are digging the show, don't forget, please give us a like, thumbs up wherever you're listening, a subscribe, and keep coming back. We'll do this again every week. Until next time, keep on thumbing. Hold on a second. Before I pack my bag, does this place have a library where we're going?